All right, we live.
I don't think you heard me.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't hear you now.
I said, when you gonna get this fresh cut?
I mean, this is my recent cut. I got this like last week, bro. My hair just goes fast.
Bro,
Oh, word.
that's
All
unfortunate.
right, we live on the ones and twos.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you want to pray for us before we start?
Sure. Lord Jesus, I want to say thank you for today. Thank you for giving us an opportunity on this platform to speak your truth. So right now we ask that your Holy Spirit comes and leads us, and we don't have to speak from your word. And I pray that everything goes smoothly. We don't have any technology issues, but the word of truth in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, somebody chime out because that was loud.
Yeah, that was out of pocket.
Come on.
That was out of pocket.
All right,
This little ending.
Ladies.
Little ending.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Men of God podcast. This is a fun podcast where we talk about any and everything, and from the perspective of being both black men and, first and foremost, black men of God. So I realized that last time we didn't really like introduce ourselves. So let's do that. Not like on no college, like what's your favorite color? What's your favorite? Like nah, like just
talking about the freshman icebreakers.
Icebreakers.
Hi everybody, it's Ade. Who's next?
My name's Jonathan.
My name is
Stop this.
Yo, Timmy, I'm about to ban you, bro. I'm about to ban you. What's good, P-Terry? I'm about to ban you, bro.
You know.
Wait.
The podcast just started, bro.
Come on now.
All right, my name is Teme.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up? My name's Josh.
All right, and we are the cast. So let's get into today's topics. We're gonna start off. Well, today's topics I feel like are gonna be a little bit, hard just because of current events and stuff like that. So, but first on the docket, we have Teme wanted to do this thing called Heart Check, where after the death of Toyin, I'm forgetting her last name at the moment. I apologize for that, but she was a Black Lives Matter activist, 19 years old, who was staying at a church, like for her shelter, and then the man that offered her gave her a ride back after protest day, who ended up sexually assaulting her and then ultimately taking her life. Later that was found a few days earlier. And that sparked a debate both on Twitter and on just like general news about us black men trying to protect our black women. But I'm curious, how do y'all think this like ties into protecting our women, but from like that godly lens?
Of protecting black women and just like in general, because I don't think if you've been on Twitter, you can say you're part like this entire like debate about rape culture, men not really checking like their brothers, just going off with passing off haha, that was funny, and it's like nah, it's not cool, it's hurtful, damaging, and like it causes life-lasting impacts that they probably have an idea of what they're doing, but they allow it to continue due to their not wanting to learn how to end it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It's also kind of weird for me seeing it because I grew up in a very like woman dominant environment. Like I'm the eldest of 12 cousins, all of whom except for one are all female. And so I've grown up and they're all brown, obviously, of course. So I've always grown up having respecting women, particularly black women, as like a default. So when I see things like this, it's like, what would propel somebody to do that to not just, another black woman, but, just imagine, like, what if that person was your mother or your sister or your cousin or whoever else?
Exactly.
And I hate that sometimes it has to go to that, because I hate that it takes people putting their own situation into it for them to actually feel like empathy and actually to empathize. But it's truth. Like, people don't take things seriously unless it directly impacts them or it directly affects their situation or correlates their situation. So, like,
it's like,
yeah.
And I was like, and like, to add on to that, I can like add, I also grew up in a very like woman-dominated household where, I don't want to say like dominated, but like me and my dad, we were like outnumbered, because the only really male that I had aside from my dad in the house was my older cousin, and my older cousin is like 30, so he really like does his own thing right now. But it's like, growing up, it was me, my dad, then it was my aunt, my grandma, my cousin, my sister, my mom. So it was like 2 to 5. So it's like, literally, I heard everything. I heard about their struggles. I've literally heard what they go through on like every day for them. And it's the fact that when black men go out, you have to think, like, you have a black sister, act like it. You have a black mom, act like it. You have a black aunt, act like it. Niece, grandma, aunt, it literally just goes down the line. And that's what they need to remember when they're when they're in the presence of another black woman. It's like, if you don't want if you don't want black men to do this to the woman in your life, don't do it to them. It's literally as simple as that. But for some reason, something's not clicking, and they think they could just go all willy-nilly. I don't think you saw that video of those black men in, I want to say, DC, that threw that black woman into the dumpster and was like laughing.
Yeah. I couldn't like to watch that.
I had to, because I was formulating my opinions on it, and I really wanted to like just tear into that, but I was like, you know what? Not y'all. But it's like, after that, it's like, would you want that to happen to a black woman in your life? No, don't do it. But for some reason, no.
Facts, yeah. Like, I never understand how like people, some guys will be seen talking about, well, like, if I don't, why would I help her? I don't know her. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? Like, this is very like human decency, bro. Like, this is a female in your community, bro. Just because you don't know her personally does not mean she shouldn't be protected in any way. Like, I feel like it's so foolish in our society in general, bro. And I don't understand why some niggas do that.
For real. And it's like, it's such a, for me, it's such like a weird way to look at it, because obviously as a black man, I feel some kind of way about the person who, or people that do that to our women in particular. But then on the bigger side, especially as a Christian, like we talked about last time on episode 1, the Bible calls us to love and to forgive first before judgment. So it's like, so it's so weird when it's especially happening in your own like sector, in your own in your own community, and then you have to turn a blind eye to the fact that you're black and look at it from a Christ-like lens first. Which for me, I'll admit it's hard, because I don't necessarily. It's like it's hard for me to not think or to not say that person deserves to be in jail for the rest of their life because of what they did. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's super, super weird. But I don't know how y'all think about it.
I was reading everything I literally get and refer back to is gonna be on Twitter, because it's been a war zone over there.
Yes,
but,
sir.
It has been like there are like 3 different wars happening on Twitter. We got white supremacy and racism. We have black man privilege, and then there's like third one. I don't even know, but there's 3. But there was this dude who really misquote. He wanted to quote the Bible to help his argument, but he really just ended it into like his own way. He said that black women must submit to black men in order to feel loved and protected.
They love using that.
I know.
Yeah.
And then the first thing that I went to is, so we're really going to use the Bible right now, really twist and and literally so make it so that it fits your own agenda. No, the Bible says that the wife of the men of the male must submit to him. I think I quoted that right, Tim. I got it right? Yeah. And it's like, first of all these people, they're not going to be your wife one day. So are you just saying like, in order to feel protected, it's like you just gonna go on and like have like, I don't know, like 50 wives? No, that's not how it's gonna work. It's like you expect, as it's going back to if you have a black woman in your life, like treat them like that. Like if you go out and if you see someone struggling, don't think, oh, they gotta submit to me in order to feel protected and loved. Nah, you gotta just like be a decent person first. It's not like, at the end of the day, it's like you can talk about, black men not protecting black women, but it's like, be a decent human being first. It's like, if you see someone struggling with like their bags, help them. Not because you want them to be your girlfriend later, and stop like doing things with the expected outcome is, oh, I'm gonna get something out of this. Because I know that's what a lot of men do. They really help because they expect something in return. It's like, oh, I helped you with your bags. You want to go on a date with me? No, I'm sorry. That's not how it works. That's nah. Try again.
And like I just say, like, I hate it when people take the Bible and twist it like that, because it's such like it gets on my nerves. But especially that, because it's like when they say wives submit to your husbands, they're not saying it's not a redirection of power in the household, or it's not a redirection of power in the relationship. It's allowing the man of the house to be the head, but the female also has a responsibility to be the neck, and without either, none can survive. It's literally telling people to be codependent on one another to make the relationship work. So that's number one. And I did see that tweet they're talking about too, but then it also begs the question, it's like, what kind of mindset do you walk around in the world where that's like your default? Like, I won't pay this woman any attention unless she submits to me, and unless she learns her place, quote unquote. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's and then I feel like, because John sent that video in the group chat about the black male privilege thing, I feel like that may have something to do with it too, because it's harder for us to understand because we don't walk around in the shoes of black women. Like, women in general already have it rough because they walk around with the constant fear that something may happen to them, as do black men, but the threshold for them is way deeper, because there's like rape and sexual assault and things like that can be traumatizing enough to lead somebody down to like a very, very destructive path. For us, we might get profiled, we might get shot at, we might get whatever, but it's an entirely different lens when any male that you come in contact with has the potential to do that to you, which we don't walk around with that. So for us, it's like, oh, well, if you were just, if you were wearing that skirt, or if you weren't doing this, or you weren't doing that, or like if you weren't so curvy or whatever, then that wouldn't have happened to you. But
victim blaming,
which is foolish. Yeah, I don't know what they do.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's like mad childish.
Yeah, I mean, but in that video, oh
Unfortunately,
my fault. Wait, wait, wait.
oh no, you good, you got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because in that video, I mean, like, I was watching because, like, I had the same standpoint. Because if I only base my experience off Twitter, I would disagree with the entire thing. Because I was like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, we get arrested more, da da da, this and that. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do some more research on the situation, right? So I watched the video. Then I'm like, okay, so that's what he meant by black man privilege. Because basically, like, when he asked the question, like, do you ever walk outside and be fear of sexually assaulted? I'm like, nah, I just walk outside and do me. So, it's like women are going through like two different battles. Like, of course, go to racism like we do, and then they have to deal with like certain men out there that might be like preying on them as well. So they have like a double, like, it's predators basically out there compared to us having like not as much.
And the worst part about it is the fact that you both are right. Like, black women literally fight so many multiple battles, and the fact that it's like black men, while we do have to live in constant fear of, police and cops, it's then for black women, they have to live in fear of policemen as well as men, and what really hurts is men within their own community. Because it's like, it's one thing to, have, like, I mean, see, they're both wrong, but it's worse when it comes for your own community. Because it's like, that's a community that's supposed to, like, uplift you, like, help you when you're down. It's like, but look at black men and be like, you know what? He might have the potential to, attack me, sexual assault me, rape me, even kill me. It is, I feel like, what's driving it home to them, and that's why they're like, I don't want to say that's why they are the way that they are now, but they're a lot more. They're cautious. They're more cautious than we are. It's like we could just walk out and it'll be like, oh, okay, like we can go to bathroom at clubs by ourselves. We can like we can jog by ourselves. I'm not saying, because we're black, you don't want to jog in, Central Park,
right.
But it's like if we really wanted to, we could do that without fear. But because of the society that we are in now, and the fact in the world where men dictate and they have power over what happens, that's why we are the way that we are now. And we also have to take into account, rape apologists and people who, as you said earlier, there's like, oh, she was this, she was that, she had it coming, she was looking at me like this. It's like, nah, like, bro, stop.
Not how it works.
Like, your friends, you're there, stop them. It's like, come on now, I have a younger sister, I wouldn't want that to happen. So, think about the people in your family, and would you want that to happen to your sister? Literally.
Exactly.
It's like I feel like a part of that too is also like how sex drives so much of our culture, and how sex has been perverted, obviously, from its original purpose in the Bible and all that, but also because men are brought up a certain way to like know how to conquer, quote unquote, conquer women, and like black women, white women, any kind of women. Like I don't know if you guys know when Vine was hot, and it would like, and it'd be like King Bachelor Daystorm, and they'd be like, yo, if she does this, she wants the D, like you know what I'm saying? But there's so many of us that are brought up like that, where it's like, if a girl, double texts you, then that she wants it, or if a girl looks at you a certain way, that she wants it, or if a girl does this, that, whatever, then she wants it. But so many of us take that to heart, and then we grow up, we're like 20 something, and still relying on those same rules. Then when those rules don't work out, and a girl is like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in you, or whatever, then we get all mad and we're like, yeah, well, F you up. And then for those of us that are less emotionally mature, we take that and internalize it, and then take it out in the form of violence, like with sexual assault and rape and things like that, or in worst cases death, like what happened with Toya. But I do feel like a lot of it has to do with how we bring up our kids and how we bring up our young black men, because they're being exposed to not just that, but also like BET and all that at like since the age of like 4, that forces these hypersexual images and like shows all these images of men, especially black men, that go up in the club and like take whoever they want and like have sex with whoever they want and those things and that kind of nature. Then it can lead them down that exact same path where they're operating under a false mindset.
Yeah, that video also spoke about how like it's popularized in our culture that like you can be like the baddest female, but like don't even dare just let's hit it and just leave. You feel me? Like they don't like it's popularized to not show respect to females as human beings. They show them as like objects for mental pleasure basically. It's been popularized for like years now for like rappers, music videos, and like even comedians here and there. So it's also another way of like that since it's such a popular thing now, people think being toxic is just a regular thing that we should all be, that it shouldn't be
Yeah.
pushed.
Yeah, because I think like it's one thing to like say don't do this because it's bad, and it's another thing to say don't do this because it hurts you. So it's like even those who do it, they get affected by it. So it's like saying this not only puts you in a position of like don't do this because you're hurting people, but don't do it because this will hurt you as well. This thing will come back and bite you in the butt one day. This thing will come back. Like you can imagine how this man had felt when his sins had been exposed, and he's like, dang, I messed up. So it's like, bro, this is why this issues like this are talked about, because one day it will come back and it will bite you. One day it will come back and it will come for you, and then you realize that you messed up, and then you try to correct it and mess up even more than you had done initially.
For real. And then it's like, if you want to talk about like free will, this is exactly like what the Bible talks about when it talks about free will. Because I feel like oftentimes people get that argument like contrived, because they think, oh well, if God knows everything, He made everything, then how do I have free will? Because you have the free will to choose righteousness or to choose sin. That's where the free will is. It's you have the will to choose to follow Jesus and to mold yourself into the form and righteous model of Jesus, or you can follow the world in which you've been brought up in. And like Teme said, so often we try to like correct our situations without the proper form of repentance. Like only through repenting to Jesus can our sins truly be wiped away and never come back to bite us again. But when you operate in the world, when you operate in how the world will correct mistakes, then those sins never go away. And that guy that killed Toyin is probably looking at this like, man, I wish that I never did that, or just things like that. It's but that leads to a good discussion that I was talking about, like that whole thing about free will, because people oftentimes get that kind of mixed up.
See, it leads to a good discussion about it, but it also brings up you shouldn't have to come to you realizing after the fact that, oh, this was a big mistake because I know the consequences. Nah, it should have already been a thought in your head before you did it, so you shouldn't do it. And that goes back to the point of, being a decent human being, being a decent black male in society, because it's like, it really does not take so much willpower to say no to yourself. It's like, if a woman says no, bro, take it as that. Do not persuade. Do not try and be like, oh, well, what if the circumstances? Nah, the circumstances are right now, and the circumstances said no. It's like there's no if and or buts. There's no, oh, what if I was this or what if I was that? It's all like the what ifs and the what about it or the what aboutisms. It's like all those ended as soon as she said no, and it doesn't have to be no with the period. It's just no. Like, don't do it. Even if you are like, best friends, nah, don't try and use your friend card as a, oh, after all we've been through, because like the worst thing the worst thing is manipulation.
Facts.
Because it's like, I'm not gonna lie, like, men are some truly manipulating people. I have seen it time and time again throughout the experiences that I've heard from, that my sister have told me, that my cousin has told me, that my aunt has told me. It just like it just cements the fact that it's like, it's not, in kindergarten you learned what the term no meant. Like, they literally teach it in kindergarten. It's one of the first things that you learned and that you literally owned. And to be able to not say no, to be able to not like recognize what the term no means in that circumstance, it's just it's unacceptable, unexcusable. If you even try and defend that, you're literally just as bad as the person who committed that crime, because you literally sat there and watched it happen.
Yep.
Bystanders. It's like we say right now, silence is violence. Literally, if you're in the club or at a park or at an event and you see something going down and you literally just stand there and be like, that's a nice cloud over there. Nah. It's like, no, it doesn't fly. And if you hear about it, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, if you're a good person, you I should have done something to stop it. Well, guess what? You didn't, because you're using your black male privilege in that area to just exist without the repercussions of, oh, if I don't do anything, nothing's going to happen to me. I can go home, go back to my bed, and I'll be all right. Someone wasn't all right.
For real.
Because you didn't want to speak up. And then the person that did it, well, you already know what's going to happen to them. Like, they're going to get exposed. But it's like, and then there was a graph going around about like the amount of rapists that are charged, and then rapists that are convicted. So, and I've seen like a lot of people, it doesn't have to be all black men, but a lot of men in general say, oh, well, what if she lied about her, or what if that? It's like, it's in their nature already to make up excuses and to not believe what they're talking about, because they have it all wrapped up in their head. It's like, oh, well, if one person lied right now, then they're gonna lie again. It's like, nah, newsflash, so many other women have had this issue happen to them and are scared to speak up because of what you're doing right now. And even in the black community, that's a huge aspect, because it's like, black men operate, it's like, oh, well, she was this, and she did this in the past, so maybe she deserved it now. It's like, no, I'm sorry, that graph is just like, it's proving you wrong, but you don't want to admit it. And not to be like, call y'all out, but it's like, in like right now, women like to be called woman instead of female, because it sounds like they're like, having like being called like a species. So it's like, it's like,
whoops.
I went to Morehouse. That's how I know this, because like Spelman, they really let you know. Like, they let you know. So yeah, just don't have to.
Dang, my bad. Any women that are watching the podcast right now, don't cancel us, please.
Can we talk about one of like, this is like a very misquoted verse, Matthew 7:12. Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. What's your take on that?
What's the verse again? You cut out for a second.
Matthew 7:12. do unto others what you want the others to do unto you.
I feel like, that it's like that goes along with society's quote unquote treat others as you want to be treated. That's their version of it without actually, quoting the Bible, because how some people are, they want to read the Bible like that. But you want the others as they would do unto you is a really good like verse, especially for everything that's happening right now in this country. But when it comes to this, I want to say it's like it's not me. It's more of like, how would I want to treat a black woman? Like I would want a black man to treat my sister, because it's like I'm not the one that's being affected by this. It's black women that are being affected by this. So every time my sister goes out, like what's in me and my father's head is, all right, like, is she gonna be okay? Are her friends gonna protect her? Are there gonna be any men that are gonna try and do something to her? That's what we think about, because that's what we fear because of this current climate. So whenever I go out, I use that verse, but I apply it to if I see a black woman out on the street or at a party, would I treat her the same way that I would want another black male to treat my sister? So I always go through it with that outlook, because if something happened to my sister, I'm telling you, I'd be flipping tables and throwing chairs. Like I would, like that wouldn't fly with me. So it's like it's a very simple concept, but it's a concept and it's a verse that some people don't abide by or don't listen to or just don't even want to hear it.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's like people like to cherry pick verses a lot, especially when you look at modern, like, white evangelists, like that modern white evangelist form of Christianity that a lot of America operates under. And like they'll pick the verse that says, like, wives submit to your husbands, flip that, but then not abide by the verses that Teme just said. Like people like to cherry pick verses, which leads to this weird conglomerate of Christianity that we operate under today. But I mean, it's a pretty simple verse. More deep, I guess. It just essentially boils down to the two most principles of being, a Christian, which is love God and love others. Which, when you operate under those two laws, those verses in Matthew automatically become, ingrained into your head without you having to reference it or think about it.
Yeah, and I think like the verse is very misquoted because a lot of people would flip that and be like, I'll do to others what others do to me. Exactly. And it's like, but it has called you to do to others what you want others to do to you. So it's like, back to what you said, love God, love people. So it's like, man, even if people don't treat me this way, I'll do unto people what I would expect to receive. Like, so if I was in this person's shoe, how would I expect someone to treat me? That's how I'm going to treat this person. So I think like it's very important to like know that, like, man, I'm not going to treat you this way because that's the way someone else treated me. So I'm going to do it to you because someone else did it to me. But it's like, I'm doing this to you because I expect that if I was in your shoes, I expect someone else to treat me this certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yes, sir.
Most definitely. Yeah, man. And it's also weird because I see a lot of these think pieces on Instagram that are like, 10 ways to love a black woman, like 10 ways to be nice to a black woman. Like, do y'all really need that? Like,
all right.
Yeah, I don't know why you need that, bro. Let's be.
Like, why do you need that? Like, why do you need somebody else to tell you how to treat somebody nice? Like you learn that in like kindergarten when you're like 4.
See, when I saw that, I'm not gonna lie, I put it up there. I literally put it on my story because it shouldn't, as I said, it shouldn't be something that needs to be said, but some people need to hear it or read it, and that's what's sad. And that's why I did it. But I'm not gonna lie, when I saw it the first time, I literally laughed. It's like I looked at it and I was like, I was like, bro,
This is funny, a topic.
so fallen as a society, as a gender, and as humans, that we literally have to have Black women type out something like it's a syllabus for us to study, like it's gonna be a test next week. It's like, no. It's like it shouldn't, it really shouldn't be like that. But because some majority, because there's a lot of people out there that have the same mindset as each other, like, oh, I see this woman, I'm gonna go prey on her. It's like the reason they have that mindset is because it's like they weren't corrected, they weren't told by their friends to say no, they weren't kept in check. So the reason they have to type this out is like it's literally a combination of all those things into one. They're sick of it, they're tired of it, and they're ready for Black men to hold Black men accountable. And that's the point that we're at now. And while I'm on that topic, let's talk about the word simp real quick.
Overused and used incorrectly all the time, bro.
Let's talk about that word, because we are so, men in general, I feel like it was created just for this job, because let you defend a woman in general.
You're a simp.
Not just Black men in general be like, oh, are you simping? And it's like, so because I'm a decent human being, and because I have a sister that I want to be treated right, because I have an aunt, a niece, a grandmother that wherever they go, I want them to be treated right, I'm a simp. Okay, that shows me where your values are at. And it's like every time I'm under a Twitter thing and I see someone defending it, and it was like, oh, like this. But then again, there's also like the term, like the good guys who only do it because they want to say, oh, see, I'm a good guy, I did this. So
tough.
Tough. He's falling apart.
Tragic, yo.
I did drop something. It was my tea tree oil that I used to make my room smell. But yeah, like going back to it, it's like every time I see that, I'm just like, all right, no, the good guys. It's like they will use that as something like, oh, I'm a good guy, I did this, we should go out sometime. No, that's also wrong. So it's like, and have like, it's like they've literally warped things so badly that it's either you're trying to be a good guy or you're trying to be a simp in their eyes, and then they're trying to be the good guy so that they can go out or have a chance with the woman that they're trying to, like, they were interested in. And it's like, I don't know. At this point.
Yeah, bro.
It goes back to chat.
Go ahead, Timmy.
No, I said, like, I think this goes back to, like, heart check. Like, what are your intentions? Are you intent right? Or are they something else? You could be doing a good thing with the wrong intentions, and it might look good before people's eyes, but the intentions, the heart is really evil.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro, because like simping is literally like you're being kindness in order to get some punani, bro. Like, it's not being kind just to be kind. Like, being a decent human being, being a decent human being does not mean you're a simp, bro.
Where's support?
Alright, which one we say, bro? Some punani, coochie, bro. Which one we say, yo? It's many different names, bro.
It's like,
It's many different names.
yo,
I could pick something.
Have you seen damn, what's that meme? Like on Twitter where the dude has the sunglasses and he's like, can you please spare some coochie, man? Like,
Spray some Gucci, man. That one, yo. It's like, how does simp go
like
from...
that's
What happened?
like okay, so here's the thing with simping. Simping is it's like you said, it's being overly nice to try to get to the draws. But the weird thing is that people, like Josh said, they mistake nice guys for simps, which then leads the nice guys to try and become the more like
Dickhead.
thuggish, yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
It's like, see, that's not like you got on a point, but it's like, no, that doesn't mean nice guys are trying to turn like that. It's like the term nice guy is a term because when people are trying to, cause they have the image that that women only date like the bad boy type in their eyes, because that's what they've been told through the songs and through the movies and through social media.
Mm-hmm.
They say, oh, look at me, I'm such a nice guy that I do this, so this is why you should do this, and they're intentionally making themselves seem like they're the nice guy when really they have, it's like, I feel like nice guy and simp, they kind of coincide, but they don't at the same time.
I was kind
They both have, it's like they both have sort of like same agenda, which is I'm gonna make myself seem a certain way in order to please the woman that I have affection for on Twitter. But what they're doing is it's making it harder for the people that are actually it's making it harder for the men that are trying to correct other men by like saying, yo, you need to check yourself. And then under comments, and then the people will be like, oh bro, why are you such a simp? And it's like, no man, I'm actually about this. I don't know what you want to do, but I'm out here trying to make the world a better place and to, protect Black women. And the fact that you see protecting Black women and protecting women in general as simping is wild.
Yeah, bro.
People take Future's lyrics to heart, and it's kind of,
bro.
It's kind of,
You know Future's out of pocket, yo.
it's kind of scary, bro. Like, I'm like, no.
A whole new can of worms. I'm gonna say right now, Future. If someone's watching it, I'm sorry, but Future is one of the worst artists in this timeline right now. I'm not saying his music and beats are bad. His lyrics are just trash.
Okay.
And it's like men, they feed off of that. And whenever you see Future drop a new album,
the memes
on Twitter, you'll see
the tweets are so
funny. Oh, my toxic masculinity is rising.
Toxic king, the toxic king.
And hold up, that. So y'all seen Aladdin, right?
Yeah.
Aladdin.
So you know that GIF of the genie when his cuffs are coming off.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They're like my toxic masculinity is being released, and it's like bro, look at what you're doing. And
oh my gosh.
I'm gonna say it right now. There's a reason Sierra, she chose Russell Wilson over Future.
I mean, yeah, like no one's.
I mean, yeah, of
like,
course.
Like nobody's trying to say that Future's a good guy. Like Future's a terrible person.
You already know Future's not a good guy.
Russell Wilson is literally everything that every Christian man should hope to be.
Facts.
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
One of the many examples that we have.
What you said?
I said he's one of the many examples that we
He's
have.
okay. Yeah, he's not like I'm not gonna say like he's the
He's
best.
not the, but yeah.
Like a high pedestal, but like he's one of like the main figures is that people should like really understand and really look up to, because like he really changed himself. He wasn't doing like all of this. He literally treats everyone like with like respect. He really abides by the Bible and everything that like it is a part of, and it's a part of him. And if you live like that, that is one of the main things that, you know, God will reward those who listen to him. And I feel like Russell Wilson has literally been like rewarded and then some because of the life that he's living now and the family that he has now. Like there's literally nothing wrong with his family to my understanding. We don't know like what goes on inside the house, but like to the outside, it's literally the perfect picture. But going back to that, it's like Future and his like words and his lyrics literally drive like a rift, because they're all about, oh, you know, she did this.
Treat her like garbage. That's literally one of his verses, yo.
Literally treat her like garbage.
That's literally what he said, yo.
And it's literally going back to what Teme said, like, do unto others as you would have done unto you. And it's like, you're literally taking that and throwing it in the trash is what you're saying by your lyrics. And, you know, Future is like,
yeah, I get
I'm
it.
sorry.
I get it.
But you know, check this out, right? You know that is person who feeds off the lyrics. It's everybody who feeds off of the lyrics, and this is why you find it hard to find men who are good, because it's an image that has been built up where it's like every man has this toxic masculinity. So it's like even in the head of women, they have this image of men. It's like men are bad. So it's like lyrics like that, when they put them out there, it's like everybody feeds off of them. And even while you are being a good person, people can view you a certain way. A woman can view you a certain way and say, man, you're trash. So it's like, I think this is where like the Bible comes in and tells us like, do not grow weary of doing good. This is Galatians 6:9. Do not grow weary of doing good, for in due time you will reap if you don't lose heart. Also in 1 Peter 2, what's that first? 1 Peter 2:15, for it's the will of God that by doing good you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. So it's like, man, people would have a false image of you because of the things that are going on, because of what past experiences. But it's like, do not grow weary of doing good. Just keep doing good. Like, even if they call you a simp, if they call you all manners of names, like, just keep on doing good, because in due time, like, people will actually see, and like, you get to silence the ignorance of men because of we're following God's will, because we were doing good before God's sight.
And then that's also a huge topic, is that people really, they want society's approval before, like, you know, like God's approval.
Yep.
And it's literally the fact that it's like, okay, so if society wants me to act this way because of things that are happening now, I'm gonna act this way instead of how God wants me to act. And that's where a lot of people lose sight, and they lose sight of themselves, and they lose sight of who they're becoming. And that's what leads them to just like throw away all sense of self. Like, bro, I'm literally no excuse for like not giving them anything to like fall back on. It's like, bro, like if you are like, if you're a rapist, like you're a rapist, like you did that. At the end of the day, you got no one to blame for your actions but yourself. If you killed someone, you killed them. It's like, you can't go back and say, oh, you know, I only raped her because, or
like,
I only killed her because. Do you know how dumb that sounds? That's literally like shooting someone on a camera, like on surveillance, and then looking to your lawyer and be like, I didn't shoot no one. Like, bro.
I mean, that's what these cops. That's what the cops be saying, though.
Oh God.
Like, I don't know. It's like, you cannot blame anyone for your actions but yourself. And again, like for the people that stand by, it's like, you can't say, oh, this person forced me not to help her, or my friend said, oh, let her go, she deserves it. And it's like, nah, like if those are your friends, those aren't your friends. Get new friends.
Mm-hmm.
Or, it's like the company that you keep matters, and like just the people who are in your circle that help you with your actions, they matter. If they're encouraging you, if your bros are encouraging you and say, oh yo bro, like go, you see that girl over there, go do this. Nah, like the next day, delete from Facebook, delete from Instagram, delete from Twitter, delete from Snapchat, and delete from contacts. It's like you gotta throw up the X. They're not friends. And it's like, I feel like at the end of the day, that is literally all that Black women are asking for, is to literally keep people accountable, because it has been a long thing in the Black community of Black men turning a blind eye just because.
You ever
Just
see
because.
you ever seen that meme where it's like, what if you do if your man's cheating and all the guys is like, I ain't see a thing, or they all acting blind when the man is cheating on their girl.
Exactly.
I'm like, yo, wild.
Exactly. That's wild.
If your friends encourage cheating, it's like, bro, what? First of all, you're dumb for even like thinking about cheating, and two, they're not your friends if they're like, I ain't see nothing, bro. Do you know what you're doing?
Wild.
Do you know what long lasting impacts that has on someone?
For real. And
Go ahead.
to go back to Taylor's point real quick though about like, that's what I'm forgetting the verse right now, so forgive me. But that's what the verse in Romans talks about, where it says, if you confess with your heart and your mouth that Jesus is Lord, you will be saved, etc., etc. But when it says heart and mouth, the two can't be separate. Like your mouth and your heart are directly correlated. You can't believe that Christ is Lord in your heart and then be mouthing off, saying, well, I believe in God, but not like, or you can't be saying those things. But on the contrary, you can't say Christ is Lord in your mouth, but not be willing to change your heart for Him at the same time. The two are mutually exclusive. So you have to adjust, not even just what you listen to, but just the things that you allow to influence you, the things you allow in your heart to move you to better fit, Christ's principles and Christ and His values as well. And then to Josh's point about like cheating, like first of all, cheating is trash. Like if like I never got why Viners would always talk about like, when your girl looks through your phone and like, what's that one Vine where the dude is on the ground and he rises up like this? You guys seen that? You know what I'm talking about?
I probably have, but I forgot.
So,
Loki, I ain't gonna hold you.
So it's like, dude is dead, right? And then he's on the ground and this girl is like, more. She's like, oh my God. And she goes for his phone and he rises up like, shh. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's funny, but at the same time, it's like, especially when we were kids and when Vine was hot when we were kids, and like we were, I mean, thankfully we like know Christ and all that to know not to do that. But for those that are less like fortified in the spirit, and for those that are more easily influenced, they could lead that to be just like, oh, I cheated, but it's a normal thing, whatever. Or like we're talking about the future, take those lyrics and stuff and then just internalize it. So I do also agree with Josh though, that that's really all that women are, in my opinion, based off what I've seen in Instagram, talking to my friends that are female or women. Sorry, oh God, sorry. I'm talking to women that I know, talking to my mother, things like that. All they really want is just for Black men to hold other Black men accountable in all aspects. Of course, there's policies and there's judgment and things like that should be done, but those wouldn't reach those stages if we held each other accountable, or if like Josh said, we just helped them if they were in need.
It's not even just like helping them where they're in need. It's just like being a good person. Like if I don't even know how to like explain it, but it's like if you see something like literally, if you see like a black, maybe it is in need, but it's like it shouldn't have to be when they're in need. It's like black women should feel protected, just to feel protected. It's like there shouldn't have to be any, like circumstance where they need to be protected. They should already feel protected, like someone's going to come to their rescue or not, like, or help them when they're like all right, maybe it isn't me, but it's like I was trying to think of things like, cause it's like if you look on Twitter and if you look at like some like the threads that are going, they're like, oh, why should I do this? I don't know her like this. Or why should I do this just because she wants to do this? She made that decision to do this. Said that. And it's like, oh, do you hear yourself? It's like, do you hear what, like the words that are coming out of your mouth? Because I don't think you do. It's literally straight foolishness what you're speaking. Is what I'm saying.
Straight
it's
foolishness.
Like, so it's like, it's literally like, are you really gonna, like, if your mom asks you to do something, would you really question your mom? Are you going to question your mom?
No, because she beat me up.
It's like, it's not like it has to be like in that, but it's like, don't question helping out women in general, and especially black women. Just do it. It's like, it's like little Nike thing. Just do it, bro. Just do it. Just help.
Yes, sir.
For real.
That's facts.
That's what it is. So, for all the black men watching, please protect your sisters, your mothers, your cousins, black women in general. We need to do better.
Yeah, even your wives. It don't stop after marriage.
Even your wife. Don't stop after marriage.
Don't stop after marriage. Keep going.
It gets harder. It only gets harder after that. But rest in peace to Toyin and any other black woman that's been affected by this. But we're gonna move on to next topic, which is there was
is he cutting off for y'all, or is it just me?
He cut off.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, Ade, bro.
We gotta bring this man back.
So how's life?
I'm assuming he was gonna talk about the J.Cole Noname situation. I believe. That's my guess.
Oh, that's exactly what he was about to talk about.
Yeah, that's one of those. I mean, wait. Is he good, yo? Hold on.
My man's frozen like frozen.
Yo, he's always going through it.
He said, "Where is my super suit?"
Hey, you back, bro? You back? You good?
You still look like
you still sound like Terminator, my guy.
Are you good?
I think.
Are y'all good now?
Yeah. Okay. I see.
You
good.
Repeat like a couple seconds because we couldn't hear you.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you, bro. What's getting you, George? Or oregano?
Still gone.
On the bluff. That was a response to Noname pretty much tweeting.
Oh, okay. He's talking about
top conscious voices in hip hop aren't really saying anything. And then J. Cole dropped the song pretty much. Pretty much.
Yo, he's cutting out.
And Twitter did not take kindly to that at all. People are trying to cancel Cole, and
like how, bro?
And it's not a good look. But here's the thing, though. Cole should be smart enough to know that this is not the climate for you to be.
It was ill-timed
for you to be criticizing another black woman. One who is.
He wasn't even criticizing
arguably more than this. I mean, on the lowest of keys, he kind of was a little bit.
He was only saying. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
They have like, I'm not gonna see. Here's the thing. It's like, as a society, we are so out of tune with what the other, and I don't want to say other side because it makes it seem so divided, but legit, that's what it seems like, because it's like there's always like two sides going at it. There's really like no unity and no one willing to hear them out and listen to the side. So it's always been like, for Twitter, it's always been the tale of like two sides, black men on one side, black women on the other side, and then
It was
white
never
women
a
on one
gender
side,
thing, bro.
white men on the other side, because no one really wants to, figure out what they're saying. And I'm not gonna lie, it did seem like he had a little bit of criticism in there that got blown out of proportion due to the current climate that we're in now.
Okay.
But it was definitely criticism, nonetheless.
Okay, so basically how I see it, right? He's basically only saying that like attacking him, right? Knowing that saying he's not doing enough, even though he himself feels that same way, she could have been brought towards him in a different way of saying it. Feel me? Instead of just directly attacking her, attacking people like him and Kendrick, which really didn't make sense. Because like, first off, why you need validation from Twitter from these two artists when they talk about this through the discography and just through actions? Which like another thing I was talking about was like, why you need validation from people on a tweet? What is a tweet gonna do? You feel me? Like at most, it's just gonna say, yeah, I also care, as if you need to ask if they care or not. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you're saying that, like, yo, like I try to do my own thing, and then in that bar we talk about, okay, my IQ's average, I got a college degree. He's like, when did I become this like this voice, this Malcolm X type person? And I'm just like, yo, and then like he's just saying that like if I could do more. That's what he's saying in the songs. I could do more. It could be brought towards him in a different aspect. That's why like, I didn't even see anything wrong. It seems to make sense to me. But people saw the tone line. It was like he's saying that black woman got an aggressive tone and that you should be quiet. It's like that's not what he was saying at all. But that's how I see it.
See, there's also the thing that it's another thing to say what he's. It's like in this like day and age, I feel, and in these circumstances, I feel like rappers gotta take cause to pause and really think about their message before they put it out there, because they have such a big platform that people are literally going to literally eat up whatever they say. We already talked about Future and his fan base and how they react. It's kind of like the same thing, because the criticism that it was mentioned in his song is something that, even though he didn't we don't know what he meant. Only he knows what he meant by what he said. But there are men that take what he said into account and are living by that. So women, they're literally going off of what they've heard, what they've seen, and what they've witnessed. Because just that one little bar or section that he said, there have been countless of black women who have been hurt by that. I forgot what the verse was, but so many of them get told that
I'll pull it up
by black men that it's literally it's the first thing that probably black men will say to them, and they've had enough, and that's why they reacted to the way they did.
Yeah, I also feel like I'm sorry, Timmy, but I also do feel like J.Cole should have been wise enough to read the climate, and I don't think he had any ill intent behind what he was saying. I don't think he was trying to comfort anybody. I don't think he was trying to do whatever. But even if he was responding to Noname, the climate right now is so hot, people would have seen that as a diss, which, honestly, I don't think, based off of Cole's reputation, all that kind of stuff, and the music he's made and the art that he's made and the things he stood for, I don't think he's that kind of person to put down a black woman. However, I do feel like
he has a whole song called "Folding Clothes" that uplifts black women, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I do feel like this was a blind spot for him, where he, there's a lot of the deep-seated trauma that Black women are going through or have gone through in the past is starting to resurface now. So any type of even if what Cole said was a response to Noname, but not necessarily a criticism of Noname, it still was read as a criticism. And then somehow Kendrick got left into that.
Bro, I saw that. I was like, I'm about to just turn his app off, bro.
Cake, complexion. He made complexion. And y'all
the
talking
black
about
and the berry, bro. Okay. I'm saying, like, how do y'all need a tweet to know this man's been talking about it for years, bro? You need a tweet to validate that, bro. I'm like, were y'all there when To Pimp a Butterfly came out? Like, y'all, what do you mean? Where's Kendrick at? Why isn't he protesting, bro? He has a whole daughter, bro. Did y'all forget about that? Like, he's not even on social media like that. He hasn't tweeted in like 6 months, bro. So what are you like? What are y'all looking for, bro? Nothing.
I feel like in this climate, especially this climate, people are really looking for the people who they support to to come out. And I'm not saying that they haven't come out, but the reason why we're being so critical about in this circumstance right now, being so critical about the industry really being silent on Twitter and in the protest is because so much of what Black women and Black men are being stereotyped as is literally due to rap music of the past. And although I want to say it's changing, and then I want to say it's not at the same time, because you have artists who are realizing, okay, we've hurt Black women by really doing this aspect, really, picking light-skinned women over dark-skinned women for the music videos, and really talking about, have sex with her one night and then toss her to the side the next, and how many bodies do we have in like the music videos and whatnot, and the songs and the lyrics. So that's why the protest, they're like, okay, so the industry has been doing this, now they want to be silent in the middle of the protest. And again, we don't know if they're being silent or not. We know what we see, and what we see is silence on Twitter and lack of statements by artists and music producers. Some artists have spoken up, some producers have spoken up, but the majority hasn't, and that's what people are looking at, is the majority, because small voices can only do like so much. But if like all of the rap industry spoke up and like all of the producers spoke up, it'll be a lot more weight than just like 5 or 6 with like like 2 or 3 million followers. It's a big deal, but it'll be a bigger deal if they did that. That's one. And then the second is in the sense of what just happened to I keep forgetting Tolan, right? That's how you pronounce it.
Tolan.
Yes.
Tolan. Oh my bad. But but like what happened with her, Black women have also realized, okay, it's like, the disrespect that they have been shown in not only the music industry, but the television industry, the movie industry. It's Malcolm X said it best. It's like the most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. And when I was young, my dad told me that, and because I was so young, I really did not realize how like the weight of those words. But it's like as I grew up and I'm at the point where I am now, those words cannot be any more true. Literally.
Oh, tell me, the chat said, why you not speaking?
Oh, I was about to say something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been trying to talk. You guys have been talking, so I was like, I'm just listening.
Well, go ahead, bro.
I think the question that I want to ask is, who do you think was right in that situation? Because honestly, I don't think anyone was right.
Yeah, I say neither.
Yeah.
The reason why I say neither is go ahead. Oh, I'll say it first. But the reason I say neither is like J.Cole, he could educate himself at the same time. He doesn't need someone to educate him. So like he's grown up to do that. And he also could have put the attention into making the song into something else. So I get that side of the argument, but at the same time, like Noname, like attacking someone doesn't help the situation. It causes more division, which is why she had to delete the tweet in the first place, because what she did just caused more problems. It didn't help the community in any way, shape, or form. You could have easily said the same message differently, and none of this could have happened. So it's really both of them is just, this could have all been avoided. You could even hit them up on a phone call if you really needed to, but like this could have been avoided.
Facts. And nobody won because, well, Cole, like you said, he can educate himself. He doesn't need anybody to. Like Cole literally said in the song or in the tweets, "I don't read."
Right.
Like, whose fault is that? Go read a book.
Right. Yeah.
Like you rich, go buy a book. And then he also didn't read the room either and said all that stuff about and like anger and caused a lot of division. But then Noname was also in the wrong too. I feel like because while I do agree with Josh that having those voices to speak about it on Twitter will do something, actions speak louder than words at the end of the day. And I feel like, Cole and Kendrick, for at least going to the protest and talking with people about the issues, for people who are as big star-wise as they are, for them to continue to be rooted in the community, that speaks more than a tweet saying hashtag Black Lives Matter.
Or a black box.
Like Kanye donated $2 million to George Floyd's family and set up a college fund for his daughter, and said nothing.
Not a word.
That's more impactful than him putting up a tweet at the end of the day. So really nobody won, but I mean, it doesn't, I don't feel like it matters now because they both know they're like, because they both know the errors are their way.
It also has to deal with the fact that what was I about to I really feel like I just lost my train of thought. You know what? Go on. It'll come back to me. I'm actually mad. Hold up. Nope. I got it back.
Oh,
nope.
cool.
All right. See, and stuff like this, no one won. It's like you could have debate after debate saying like, it's like who won. You decide who's next. But it's literally like my dad always told me like an eye for an eye will leave both people blind, and in this circumstance I feel like there are, I mean, you could say people won, but you could say people lost because they came out with different like ideas and different like, okay, I did this the wrong way, maybe I can be better the next time with how I put out my message. But also they lost because there was no need to really go at this right now in this circumstance, in this year, month. You didn't have to do that. Like it's a battle that we really did not need. It's like when we're all out protesting, raising our signs, wanting equality, there did not need to be any type of diss track right now, because that's literally counterproductive in any shape or form. It's counterproductive. It's counterproductive for equality. It's counterproductive for Black women really wanting Black men to understand how they feel and how they've been treated throughout history and why they're so upset now. It's just a lot of things that didn't need to happen.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep. So that's that.
I would say Terry had a
Go
question.
ahead, John.
So I'm Terry. He wanted our opinion on colorism in our community.
Okay. Who asked that?
Pete Terry. He said he's your friend from school.
Oh yeah. That's my friend. That's my friend from middle school. What's up, So colorism. I'm gonna be honest. I was not hip to it until maybe high school, because I didn't grow up watching like live action, stuff and things like that. I grew up watching cartoons and anime, which even when you look at anime, whenever they would portray black people, it would always be a darker skin. There was never light skinned black anime characters. Like in Naruto, Dari was brown skin. Mr. Popo, Dragon Ball Z.
Popo, yikes.
You bring up Killer B.
Yeah.
Killer B, the Mikage, the entire Cloud Village.
Yeah, but also, like when we look at anime, like Afro Samurai or Samurai Champloo, like the black characters are the darkest possible depictions of black people. So more or less, and then even when I got to high school and started watching like Fresh Prince, Bill Cosby Show, I still saw brown skinned people in that show. Granted, there were a lot of light skinned people, but especially in the Cosby Show, like everyone in there is dark skinned except for Lisa Bonet. And then in Fresh Prince, it's a mix. It's a healthy mix. So I never really was hip to the fact that it was a problem until people started talking about it, and then that's when I saw it more happen, particularly in like Netflix, especially like how they pick like the standard light skin, loose curly hair for any black character that they want to portray. And I do feel like, well, not feel like, it's a fact, it's the residuals of slavery, because of how lighter skinned people were treated versus darker skinned people. But honestly, it really depends on the type of character you see being portrayed in whatever media you're trying to push in terms of colorism. Like if you see your brown character as a light-skinned, Yara Shahidi looking type of girl, or in a, light-skinned dude or whatever, then fine, go at that. If you see it as the converse, then go ahead and do that too. And I just really feel like it depends on what they're trying to portray. I feel like the issue happens a lot of time, especially in shows like Blackish and stuff like that, is that they portray black as a certain way and only as a certain way. Like in Blackish, none of those kids are dark except for Dre, and even Dre is like
Dre is kind of
a lighter skin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's the twins too, but even then. And then especially when you look at like Grownish and like that new show on Netflix, Black AF with Kenya Barris and all them, like it's just straight mixed people. Like there's no type of diversity, which again, to my point, that the purpose of that show, Black AF and Blackish, is to show the normal black family. Which if you only show them as light skin, then that in itself is colorist, because you're choosing to focus on what is socially acceptable by society standards and by Hollywood standards.
Yeah, like I agree with that. Oh, go ahead, bro.
All right. So my take on it is I haven't experienced it personally, but I've seen it really growing up, because my family, when we were little, we watched a lot of Tyler Perry movies before.
I'm sorry.
I know. Those were not ideal. I'm
not ideal at all, yo.
Right now.
I'm sorry, bro.
You know what? I was put through the ringer. It hurt, but like looking back at it now, it's like Tyler Perry movies. It's like that's what is wrong with, I feel like, the black community as I see it now. I was just talking with my cousins and my sisters about this. It's the fact that they had like the typical drama. It was, light skins versus like the dark skins in the Tyler Perry movie. You would always have, you would always have like the light skinned woman be portrayed as, you know, this is everything that, you know, you should inspire to be, this, that, and the third. And then on the other side of it, you literally had the black woman who came off as bitter, angry, rude, wanted to like come back into the fold and be like the quote unquote like home wrecker, which is what honestly should, I don't know what he was doing when he made Family Reunion and all the other Tyler Perry movies, but and even going into the music industry for music videos, it was literally all light skinned women. There was, I don't think there
The only real
probably
dark
only
skins was probably in Black Panther, to be honest. Other
there's
than that, not
probably
really.
there's probably only one video.
Yeah.
There's
Sounds
one
about
music video that I've probably seen that has featured a lot of like black woman, but not like black woman, like actually like dark skinned black woman. And that's the problem with like colorism is, oh, you know, you're light skinned, you're not like black, you don't understand, but it's like wrong. It's like they may not get the same heat that a lot of dark-skinned African Americans get, but they're still black regardless, and that's the divide that is colorism. But going back into it, yeah, there's been a lot more light-skinned women in the music industry, music videos, than dark black-skinned women. And you're right, Black Panther might have been the one that had a majority of like dark-skinned cast. I don't think
Actually,
Like other than
I don't think so.
like Us, like Get Out, like those type of movies
Not even-
was mainly black.
okay, yeah.
not even those, but like when you go back to the '90s and like all those John Singleton movies and all those Spike Lee movies.
Oh, okay, I know what movie
It
you're
was a
talking about.
healthy mix. It was a healthy mix, like Juice, School
It was-
Days.
It was a healthy mix, but it wasn't enough to help our generation still understand the fact that colorism hurts. It's like it wasn't enough to like really push that, because also going back to it, like really like black women have literally been rejected because they're men will be like, oh, you're too black for me, or I really don't like dark skinned girls like that, or dark skinned women like that.
That's the
And
weirdest
it's
thing,
the
bro.
fact that bro, hold up, look where you came from. Are you really going to sit here and say, I can't see myself with a dark-skinned woman when my mom is a black woman and my sister is the same complexion as me? You're really going to sit there and be like, oh no, you're too dark, I don't like you, or you have this personality that's linked with you being dark skinned. It's like, no, bro, like colorism has hurt a lot of people, but going back to it, it's literally, I feel like it's hurt black women the most, because like at the end of it, they're black men, it's literally black woman at the bottom, light-skinned woman, and then white woman.
Which is baffling.
It's crazy.
Like, how you dark skinned and hate other dark skins, bro? Like, what? Like, how you call a dark skinned girl a cockroach? Nigga, you're a cockroach, bro. Like, how you gonna call another dark skinned person a cockroach, bro? You're just as dark as them.
It's really the fact that, oh, you're not giving this woman a chance because she's dark skinned, and that's something that bothers you. So
Nonsense.
I haven't experienced colorism, but I have seen the effects of colorism, happen on a multitude of scales.
Yeah. What do you,
Timmy, got something to say, bro?
what do y'all think?
I'm gonna let Timmy go first before I go.
Look, man, I'm an African. So hard.
Word.
But no, but honestly, even in Africa too, they also have like colorism, where it's like showing favor to one side. But I think that's where it comes with its own divide of its own, where it's like a community divides itself. And honestly, I don't really have much to say on this because I don't really know much about it, and it's not something that like I experience. So I won't like give up on this when I don't really know much about it. That's why I haven't said anything.
Fair. I mean, me personally, like, I mean, of course, I've had my jokes, about light skins, but I mean, I've had jokes at me because being dark skinned at the same time. So I mean, jokes are jokes, but I've never really been like, man, that shorty got dark. I don't want to date her. Like, bro, like, I don't. It never really made sense to me of being colorist. And of course, like, we've had the time, but like, since Drake, so the light skinned guys were being fetishized, and then all of a sudden now dark skinned guys are being fetishized. And I'm like, I guess, but I mean, it's still weird that we even choosing between what skin tone is the basis of how you choosing a guy in the first place. It feels kind of stupid to me. Just being colorist in general, or hating your own kind. This is self-hate, in my opinion. Like, I'm dark skinned, so why how am I gonna hate another dark skinned person or a female? It never made sense to me how that applied. You know what I'm saying? What, Josh?
That reminds me of a Key and Peele skit when his like Barack Obama is going around like and shaking people.
Taking the hand.
Oh yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
he said, afternoon.
He was dabbing everybody. That was hilarious.
How funny is that?
That was hilarious. So,
Yeah, but it's like those. See, I'm not gonna say like my last bit. It's like, see, jokes like that. I mean, it's like Key and Peele. It's Key and Peele. It's like you already know they're joking based off of like their neat brand, but it's like any random Joe on like the street that will like make like jokes. It's like, sure, but it's like when it's like people will laugh at it, but it's like when you get that cut from your barber and he asks you, is it good? You're just gonna say, oh yeah, it's good, because like
no matter what,
you don't want a problem. And
you're kind of like up here.
It's
like this. You just gotta eat that.
And I'm gonna just keep it, and then you go back home, and it's like it wasn't that good. It's like I feel like that's exactly what it is. Like you will take some people can like take the jokes at like this guy was like right like in front, and then it's like you'll laugh it off, but it's like it's actual damaging. It's like people have been hurt by that. People have like forgotten how to really love who they are because of that, and representation often matters. That's why growing up, it's like Barbies. It's like I know so many people in my family who did not let their girls play with Barbies because they wanted something that represents them, that makes them feel better, instead of just like playing with a Barbie that doesn't. And it's a lot that has to, and that's a lot that has to do with colorism, is representation. It's like, all right, I don't see me in all of these movies. I don't see me in all of these music videos, and I don't see me with this particular person because I'm saying he because it's mostly he. I don't really think that. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but it's like I don't feel like I've really seen like black women say, "Oh no, I don't want to date this black male because he's black." I've never been witness that. I've never seen that in my entire life.
A slight few. That'd be like, I want a light skinned 6'5" guy, that'd be doing that, but that's like that's
okay,
that's like
Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
all right, but it's like when black men do it, like they cut open and then they put salt in the wound. It's like I've seen like one of my friends got like rejected, but then it's like he was like, and this is why, and it's like, you never had to. You did not have to.
Yeah, I feel that.
You did not have to do that, and it's sad that we feel like we have to degrade black women, especially those of darker skin, just because they're like, oh, and we no, and it's like, bro, just if that's the case, I really hope you do not have like a daughter with the same skin as your mom, because it's like if that's how you are, then it's like, what's the point?
Mm-hmm. But I've also noticed something like I think someone brought it up. I forgot who. I read it online, but someone was like, it could also be about how the relationship with like their mothers could have been. Like maybe like they didn't have a good experience with this black woman in general. So just like, you know what, I just don't like black women at all. Like just playing like devil's advocate. I mean, but like I see it in that sense. But
I mean, yeah, I've seen that, but if you let that instance, and it's like I understand how traumatizing that can be, but if you let that dictate how you treat black women for the rest of your life, you're no better than that one white guy who had a problem with black people in like 5th grade, and then decided to be racist for the rest of his life.
Right.
You are no different from that. You're no different.
I agree.
You gotta like, it's facts. You gotta learn how to re-educate yourself so you don't just fall into random thought patterns.
It's literally if that's how you wanna, like, when we're talking about breaking like generational curses, that should be a large part for like the black community. It's like let that hatred go. Like whatever hatred you're feeling to one side, and I want to say some deserve that hate, but at the same time, like God calls us to really forgive people, because that's who He wants us to be, because He's a forgiving God and He's a merciful God. But it's like if someone raped my sister, I don't think that I would. Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be hard.
It would be hard. It's like I feel like the main thing is like to forgive, and to forgive but not forget.
That's it.
But got something, Timmer?
Oh yeah, I think I was reading this book, The Purpose-Driven Life, yesterday, and it said this: if someone hurts you repeatedly, you're commanded by God to forgive them instantly, but you're not expected to trust them immediately, and you're not expected to continue allowing them hurt you.
Yeah, no, because most people think when God says forgive, it means become friends with them automatically. Like it's more like you can forgive them, but it doesn't mean you gotta be cool with them no more. But it also doesn't mean you gotta be like, yeah, we're all good again. Like,
yeah, all the forgiveness is it's forgiveness is not it's not abstaining somebody from justice, whatever kind of justice that may be. That person will still be held accountable, sent to jail, whatever. The Bible says numerous times that the wicked will be held accountable for their actions.
Mhm.
But what forgiveness allows you to do is it allows you to look beyond the pain the person may have caused and see them for the person that they are, which everybody on this earth, alive or dead, was and is a child of God. It's just that those that are causing the pain have chosen, again, like we're talking about with free will, they chose the world over the righteousness, and now they're being affected by it.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, P. Terry just said forgiveness is often a way for people to move on with their life. So
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Definitely true too.
Yeah, because you don't want to hold that with you for like the rest of your life. Like eventually you have to confront and like forgive. But as you said, like don't forget. But
It's kind of how reason why God will call us to forgive is so that when His judgment comes, we are found righteous in His sight, and we are not found holding anything back. Is when His judgment comes, because He's such a just God, and He sees that we're holding things in our heart. It's like, I'm sorry, but I have to punish you too because you are not before my eyes as well.
For real.
Sir.
So, do y'all want to do this last topic and then the fun topic, or do you want to go straight to the fun topic?
What was the last topic? I forgot.
It's a food debate.
Oh, food debate? Go ahead, bro.
All right. So we're gonna do the same game that we did last time, where it's 3 gotta go and then 1 gotta stay. So pizza, burgers, tacos, or wings.
Oh, what? What's the last one?
Why do you gotta do this?
Or wings.
Wings? So 3 gotta go. Only 1 can stay.
Is pizza, burgers, tacos, or wings?
Tacos. I'm gonna keep wings. To be honest, I ain't gonna hold you. I can.
It's unanimous. Wings gotta stay.
We gotta stay, bro.
Bro, your man said burgers, bro.
It's not because I'm black, okay? I just like chicken.
Shut up,
All right, let me tell you the story.
Nah, screw it. I will live that stereotype. I love chicken, okay? I will live that stereotype to the day that I die. Chicken is
all right. All right. No, the question is a boneless wings or is it wings?
Both.
It could be either one. What?
Yeah, it's still chicken.
Bro, P. Terry said burgers stay.
What?
He said burgers can be simple and be really fancy and intricate. Or my fault, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but it's like.
But with wings, there is so much more variety in terms of
much variety.
Of flavor and the sauces. And plus, you can get dry rub or you can get it wet. Like there's so much variety.
That's facts.
There's barbecue. There's
lemon
buffalo.
pepper, bro.
You got
pepper shots of
pepper. You can have habanero.
Yo, he said boneless wings are chicken nuggets for man children. That's tough. That's tough. That is tragic.
He said boneless for man children.
But they're good and they're cheaper. So
I mean, they're good, but it's like I'm not about to. No. He got a point. Points were made on that side.
But because here's the thing. People often hate boneless wings because people call them boneless wings when really
people call them chicken nuggets.
The chicken tenders.
But think about it. It's a chicken nugget with wing sauce. Let's go.
You said chicken nugget with wing sauce, bro. I'm thinking about that. I'm like, bro, imagine.
Just say chicken nugget with wing sauce.
It's a nugget with wing sauce. Think about it. If you get a lemon and pepper wet boneless wing, how good would that be?
I never said it don't slap. But I mean, it's just an extended chicken nugget, so I guess you can call it a chicken tender, really. This is what boneless wings are.
Tell me what?
I mean, again, points were made by John.
Tell me what?
I said my life has been a lie. Because it's chicken nugget. I'm like, dang, why didn't I?
Wait, hold on. Did you really think that they took the bone out the chicken and just gave it to you?
Imagine just a shape of a wing with no bone in it, bro.
Hey,
That's like weird.
I can stand you.
Come on, man.
Think about it. You
live in Texas, bro.
You in Texas and you think? Come on, man. Come on,
Tim, man. Come on.
You should know better, son. You should know better.
Tell me what's really.
It's like, you
Tell me
should know
what's
what.
really. Tell me what's really. Wings like. I wonder how they get the bone out. Like, get out of here.
Like, come on now, bro. Come on now.
Come on.
It's
Come on,
nothing
man.
else. It's nothing else. At least know that you're in Texas.
P. Terry said it's
Yo.
okay, Tim. I was the kid who thought hamburgers were made of ham.
Bro, I tell you, as
Oh,
a kid, I was
oh
like,
no.
I didn't eat chicken because I knew what chicken came from.
Oh,
And
nah.
then I only ate beef because I thought beef was a crop. And then it was until I was older that I found out that beef was cow. I was like, dang.
Hamburger.
I think that's why I started
Hamburger
eating
is
chicken.
What's next? Pizza being made out of the food pyramid?
What? You thought beef was a crop, bro?
Like, but they were beef, so I didn't know.
I know good and well that you did not just say what I think you said.
Bro, they made beef. How did you know it was cow? You know, chicken is called chicken, but cow is called beef. Like, who would have thought? I was like,
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yo.
Man, I'm a sense that like it needs to be slapped back into you. You lost it during quarantine.
What was you eating as a child that
Really?
you thought beef was a crop, bro? Like, we gave you like a beef hot dog or something. You thought, man, this made out of vegetables. Like, bro, you see, like, it's meat, bro. It's meat. You see the meat, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. Some people be thinking hot dog from dog.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Absolutely. Wait. Out of curiosity, what did you think that like the beef plant looked like?
I don't know.
Don't you got beef patties back in Nigeria? Like, what?
I don't think I had that growing up. Because like my mom always chunked up like, so it was like little chunks of meat. So I thought that's how they grew on the plant. It was like little chunks.
Hold on, wait.
That meat grew on
You
trees?
African, and you African. We cook chicken, goat, all that, and
Y'all cook everything.
No,
Timmy.
see, look, I don't think I ever saw someone cook. So I was like, maybe it's a crop. But it was when I grew older that I realized that I was like, oh shoot. I'm like,
How
dang.
You think we grow cow? You think we grow beef? Hey yo.
Homie said we plant beef in the ground, bro, it grows into a beef tree. And we pick the beef off the tree, bro, to make food off it, bro.
Think about it.
Man.
Oh my
When this
gosh.
clip is going up on my Instagram, I'm sorry. You gotta repent for this. Yeah, man.
I'm gonna send you a video of PETA like filming a beef factory so you can see where it comes from.
For some reassurance.
Some reassurance.
I think this was worse than your wings comment, Tim. Man, I'm sorry.
Hold on, what do you say about the bone?
Mhm.
Yeah. We had like a whole fight about that, and we had a whole fight about that during like one of our ENC nights.
One of our ENC nights. It was a whole brutal.
It was me, Josh, and Danny and Nozomi, I think. And then Josh said that McDonald's chicken. And Lauren. But Josh said this, and I want to hear y'all's opinion. Josh said that McDonald's nuggets taste the same as Chick-fil-A nuggets.
I never said that.
Yes, you did, because Danny asked you to compare McDonald's and Chick-fil-A nuggets, and you said they're the same thing. I got the video on my phone.
All right. Oh, okay. I did not say they taste the same. That is
same.
You said they're the same thing.
When I said they are the same thing, I meant the physical structure is the same thing, not
what
the
you said.
Bro, me saying they're the same thing does not equate to the taste is the same thing. It is not that at all. No. If I ever say that Chick-fil-A tastes the same as McDonald's, the enemy.
I gotta slide you. I had to slide you.
Real. I'll take you to God early.
I did not say it.
I'm about to say Burger King and McDonald's are like the same. I'm like, where you been going to? Like,
So I would have to be a fool to say they taste the same. No, sir.
Burger King is disgusting. I'll say.
All I'm saying is
they used to be better. They got worse over time.
Yeah, Burger King is disgusting.
Burger King is it. They lost me after they tried to be experimental with what's it called? It was the
chicken fries.
Not even the mac and Cheetos.
Huh?
Never heard about that?
Nah, but the mac and Cheetos?
That sounds disgusting.
They had mac and Cheetos. Hold on.
No, it was alright. It was deep fried mac and cheese, and on the outside it was Cheeto crust. It was Cheeto dust. So it was like Cheeto, but macaroni and cheese on the inside.
Yo, what is that?
That is the most.
Yo, what? Yo,
that is some. That's some Black Force energy. I'm sorry.
They got a box.
Mac and Cheetos are fire.
They got a box. Bro, what?
Yeah, you searching up right now? Yes. Yeah.
Yo.
And don't forget to
tell me what's
fire.
You said they slapped?
That looks nasty.
I'm tired.
That looks so nasty.
Pete Terry said they were fire, bro. Oh shoot.
Bro, that's a heart attack waiting to happen. And while you're at it, look up the Whopperito.
Not the Whopperito, bro.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No. It was a Whopper, like the Burger King Whopper.
In a burrito.
In a burrito.
Crying.
Exactly.
It's just a beef burrito, nigga. All right, whatever, yo. It's just a beef burrito. What are y'all talking about, Whopperito, bro? What is that?
It's really a burrito Whopper form.
Like that just didn't need
Hey
to
yo,
happen.
Pete Terry said the mac and cheese were fire, bro. In capital letters.
I don't know. Like what his taste buds are, but obviously it's something. Cause that's disgusting. I could never.
They out of pocket,
Oh
yo.
no, you want to say the Whopperito looks foul, but the mac and Cheetos look fire. All right.
It's like
Okay.
I say that's a selective choices you got there, bro.
A fun fact: if you go on Chick-fil-A's secret menu, they have a blueberry milkshake.
Oh, blue. You know what? Have I been the only place that really didn't like blueberries like that?
No,
Like blueberries were just.
Mangoes
wasn't
is
me.
fruit.
You said you don't like blueberries like that?
No, not really. To be honest.
All right. Now, here's the thing with berries: there are two ends of the spectrum. It's like you can either have it. The berry that you have is very good, or is very bad and sour. It's like you can have a very juicy sweet grape, then you can bite into another grape, and it's like, this ain't it. Just like strawberries, just like blueberries, just like raspberries, and it's like, and blueberries. It's like, come on, if you're gonna be consistent, nature, at least be consistent. I can't be having to like, I can't be picking and choosing like it's one of them jelly bean bags where I get a different flavor each time.
So yeah, I've had some bad strawberries, bro. I'm like, hold on. This ain't how it's supposed to taste. It's like
Exactly. It's like you just gave me this fire strawberry like a second ago, and the next strawberry is something foul. Nah, try again.
Oh no.
I bit into a apple one day when I was in high school during lunch. First of all, lunch in high school was disgusting. Like,
yes, sir.
Trash.
Doodle butter.
Bro,
Yes,
it was
sir.
atrocious.
Trash.
But I bit into an apple and there was a worm in the middle of the apple. And I was
Ooh,
Not a worm. Oh.
I'd sue that. Yo, instant lawsuit right now.
I mean, I was also a senior, and it was like a week before I graduated, so I was like, I don't care anymore.
That's a
It's
setup.
whatever.
That is a setup.
I never seen something. I know something more inconsistent than in school lunches, bro. Like they can have that one good lunch that 1 week, bro, and then the rest of the week is pure garbage. It's
Bro.
like, yo,
Alright,
where's the consistent effort, bro?
fun fact is at one of my schools when I was in elementary, like the hot dogs, if you threw them on the ground, they will bounce back up to you.
Y'all playing basketball with hot dogs, yo?
Like literally, like lunch, like hot dogs in lunch school was actually disgusting. It's like you were literally eating rubber.
See, now look, here's what's trifling.
And the chicken was bad too. The only thing that was good was the curly fries. That's the only thing that was good.
Okay, yep.
Here's the thing with this trifling, bro. I went to private school from like middle to high school, and it was still nasty. And like, you know, there aren't a lot of black people at those schools, so they just be giving us baked chicken with like salt and pepper.
Oh nah.
Like no,
Oh nah.
like no, you know.
You gotta bring your own. You gotta bring your
Adult,
own
like-
size, own cities. You know, you gotta bring your own Adobe.
None of that, bro. Yo, Teme, okay. One time my high school tried to make jollof rice. and guess what they put in it? Raisins.
What did they put in it?
Raisins.
That's disgusting. That's outlawed. Hold up. What's their number? Call them up. Right now. They gotta stand trial for that crime. Raisins?
Ooh, I look.
Raisins.
To my mom, I came back home and told my mom. She like took so much pity on me.
Bro, you ever tried to get those fake Jamaican beef patties, bro? You know how much my feelings would hurt when I ate a bit of Jamaican beef patty for my school lunch, yo? Like, nah, yo, like that meat wasn't even, they didn't taste like real meat, bro. I don't know what I was eating, bro. It wasn't a beef patty, bro. It was just a patty with some weight in it, bro. My soul was hurting that day.
Nah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They gotta stand trial for some war crimes. Report them to the UN.
Oh,
Like,
man,
Tell me, what are you trying to?
Like,
Tell me, what are you trying to say? We're trying to talk for a minute. Oh, nah.
I said that happened to me in UK. Like with whole jollof rice thing.
they put raisins in jollof rice in UK?
I'm
Yo,
just-
throw
I'm
the
just
whole
stuck on
country away, bro.
raisins, not raisins.
No, I swear, I have never felt more disrespected for my African heritage than I have.
Raisins in jollof rice.
Raisins, bro.
What's with the Caucasian group with raisins, bro? You know, why do you need raisins in everything, bro? Like, leave it alone. Like, raisins in your casseroles, bro. Raisins in your rice, bro. Like, stop with the raisins.
I would go right to the principal, and I was like, I'm being bullied. This is
That's bullying, bro.
Straight bullying. Now, what's bullying is at my school lunch in elementary school, we will bite into the hot chicken, and some of it will be raw.
That happened to me too.
That's
We had a
disgusting.
kid get food poisoning from that one year.
How you cook raw chicken, bro? Chicken should be easy to make, yo. Chicken's not that
You don't know how to
hard, yo.
make chicken. You don't know how to make chicken.
It's the
We
same.
know how to make chicken, but they don't know how to make that.
It'd be the same type of people that put raisins in potato salad.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's
You
like,
got a
again with the
dude-
raisins.
You got a dude in the back named Zachary who's putting salt and pepper on the chicken.
Gotta have the black janitor come in and add a little something to it.
Stop.
Like that. Oh, with you.
So, hey, look over there. And his wife just turn away, yo.
I mean, he said, sprinkle like 5 things of salt. I'm like, this isn't chicken. This isn't chicken at all. Bro, just keep it in the fryer until it says okay. The lunch isn't that difficult to make. It's
Oh,
not.
mamas, yo. And then Michelle Obama came through and said, let's be healthy. And it made it even worse. I said, all right, sis. Let's throw a whole lunch.
Michelle
Obama?
Yeah.
Yo, my when she came into office, I was in my last year of elementary school, and they had like Welch's fruit snacks. They had cookies, brownies, pizza, like all that. So then tell me why I could come to school one day and they giving us like gluten-free stir fry with
I'm
like
like,
no
gluten-free stir fry,
again
bro.
no seasoning but
At this
I
point,
didn't say healthy,
feel
but
like
I didn't say healthy of no seasoning, bro. Like they didn't say no taste. They said just healthy.
at this point, I feel like elementary school lunches were anti-black.
low-key they
Anti-black.
were.
That's tragic. Who
Y'all
thought?
remember like those like grilled cheeses that came in like those orange and white packs?
Oh,
Yep,
yes.
yep. I know about
That
that.
had all that processed cheese up in it.
Yeah.
With that
If
whole
we're-
grain
if
bread,
we-
bro. That dirty
if we're
ass
really-
whole grain
if we're
bread.
really-
Oh,
If we're really talking about that, let's talk about them. What was it called? It was those Smuckers PB&J sandwiches that you had when you didn't have money for lunch.
hey, talk about
The
it.
schmuckers,
No,
bro.
them
The
Sean
Kim and
were
Clutch.
literally the scum of the earth.
Mm-mm-mm.
Hated them.
They're
There was one
disgusting.
time that I forgot my lunch money, or that I ran out of money on my lunch student card. I
Oh.
made sure that never happened again.
I went hungry when that happened one time.
I'd rather,
Damn.
bro, I'd rather look.
Cause my
Something-
parents paid for because my parents paid for my lunch back then. But there was like, but there was like one day where my car wasn't working or something like that. So the only option was the Smuckers grilled cheese or the Smuckers PB&J. I just went hungry.
I feel like the schools put more effort into breakfasts than lunch. Well, for me, in my
Bro,
business mention.
honestly, them lunches, them breakfasts, if you go to a school that has breakfast, yo, they
Yo, breakfast.
Bro,
Yes.
I've had some good cheese Danishes, bro. I'm like,
bro, I went to in 7th grade when I went to a private school, yo, breakfast, we had tater tots, bacon, pancakes,
Mm.
we had yogurt parfaits, and we had the chance for a slice of cake.
like they were
For breakfast?
snapping with them breakfasts.
That's
Yeah,
bro. I had the French
Legit.
toast.
They legit popped off for those breakfasts. I was eating like a king that year.
Yeah, I had the French
In
toast
the
sticks when I was
grade.
in elementary school.
In 8th grade,
Them
I
was
went back to District 12.
Slap.
Which was awesome. I miss that, man. And then I go to high school, and then it's like 4 kinds of Cheerios. I'm like, okay.
It's like y'all got little
Oh,
packs of
nah.
Cheerios, bro. It's like, all right, I guess. They got the good old cornflakes.
Bro, nah, we are the exact same now. You ever go into the dining halls and just have like some Cheerios or some cereal because
Yes,
the food
sir.
wasn't hitting?
Because the food was trash.
Yes,
It's like,
yes,
man,
sir.
forget it. Then I'll
There have been-
some good Fruit Loops.
I literally walked
There
into
have-
our dining hall, looked around, and was like, "What is this for dinner?" Literally got a bowl, had some milk, and Liz like, "Bro, what is this? What is
But
this? Give
the
me my
Morgan
Cheerios."
Hall, wings though, every Wednesday.
That was the only saving grace. The
Slap.
pizza, trash. Pizza was trash. What's
It was
it
good
called?
sometimes. It was
The
good
salad
sometimes.
bar hit sometimes. Yeah, J&H, greatest pizza. They had the best
Greatest pizza. That's fast.
pizza. Like literally, but the wings were beautiful. I cried. I had the buffalo wings. They were a gift.
They were so good.
Wait, yo, tell me, other than the terrible jollof rice, what else you eat in UK, bro? I know you had some more food over there, bro.
Don't get me started with your food, bro.
It's like, we about to pull out a list.
All right, give us some.
Let me see. What did I eat? Honestly, I can't remember. That. I'll probably have to think about it. Because, like, a lot of times I didn't eat in this place. I'll just walk in and say, yeah, they're serving me, like, soup and rice and unseasoned. like they literally had people that come into like the halls and they have like this whole like garnishing of seasoning, and it's like, all right, man, I'm gonna make this food that they made by myself. Like, hey, that's a smart idea. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm like, so season
That's so lazy. They gave you all the seasoning and then said do it yourself.
I got so used to the bland food, that when I went back home and I ate spicy food, bro, my tummy hurt. I'm like, yo, what's going on?
His stomach just became gentrified, bro. He had gentrified that digestive system, and then he came home like some blackness, bro.
Here's the thing about us though.
Timmy was eating that cabbage soup from that Charlie Bucket was eating in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's what he was eating.
Oh no!
Man.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
And then for extra side, they fed him some Chef Boy. If you don't do this yourself,
Chef Boy, do this yourself.
If you don't make it,
Food slapped. There were some days where food slapped.
But here's the thing though about us. We black folks never have to measure our seasoning. We just
we just know.
Spirits of our ancestors
just know.
just control our hands when we season.
I hate you.
Like
I hate you.
it's perfect every time.
You took that from a meme, and I hate you. Give credit to the source.
Nah, bro. I was
What?
actually
Nope.
thinking of this. I'm like, why is it that when I cook, I know the exact amount to add? And I'm like,
That's what I'm saying.
It's like forget the measuring cup. Throw it out the window.
It's because your ancestors are holding your hand as you sprinkle.
They're right next to you.
What I'm saying. Like the Old Bay, the Lowrys. Oh,
Yes, sir.
we just know, man. We just know.
Yo, someone said only good food in the UK is the shit they stole from the colonies.
You know what? Let me. I got two, but you know.
That's tough.
And on that note,
That is tough.
and on that note, we've been going for like 3 hours, so I feel like it's a good time.
2 hours, yeah.
I think it's a good time to end it here. Thank you all so much for watching episode 2
Yes,
of the
sir.
Men of God podcast.
Thank you for coming.
Thank y'all for coming. Next episode coming at you hot in 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably 2
And
weeks.
Y'all, probably 2 weeks just to let more news come in. But you know, everybody stay blessed, stay well.
Be
Love
easy, yo.
everybody. Love your mom.
Thank you for coming.
Eat good.
Protect black women all years.
Facts.
Protect black women out for the rest of your
Protect
lives.
them shorties,
All
yo.
your mamas is black. Your mama black, your auntie black, your cousin black.
Sister black, your cousin black, your niece black, your grandma black.
Y'all black, yo. Come on now.
And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black,
Black, y'all.
Anyway, y'all be good. Stay
Yo,
easy.
y'all be
God
easy,
bless.
yo. Be safe, yo.
I love you.